So I'm going to start my testimony talking about when I was in 6th grade. There's a lot of change in the 6th grade. Obviously, that's when you start middle school. There's a big change in my life. My grandma passed away in 6th grade, and she was such a great soul in our family. We all loved her so much. And around this time, I was also dealing with a lot of bullying. That really did affect me, and it gave me a lot of anxiety to go to school a lot of the time. We started going to church because our family wanted to kind of feel more connected to God after my grandma passed away. And I would remember I would go to church, and for weeks I would go into youth group and sit down and not talk to anybody. And it was like this for weeks. I felt like a complete outsider all the time. I felt like no one wanted me there, no one cared that I was there, no one noticed that I was there. And one week that I was at church, these two women came up to me, and their names were Ellen and Karen. And they really noticed me. They really made me feel like I wasn't invisible, and that they really made me feel more welcome, which I really did appreciate. They really helped me not feel so lost, and like I was just there for, I was just nobody there. I still felt like an outsider, though. I still felt like I saw these amazing people that I thought were so loved by everybody at the church, and I felt like, why couldn't I be like that kind of person? And this one girl, this really energetic girl, her name's Amelia, she became my friend when I really didn't have a lot of friends at church. And she invited me to go to Winter Blast. She kind of convinced me to go to Winter Blast. And so I went to my first Winter Blast trip 3 times ago. And I really did love it. I would say I didn't really get the experience, though. I felt like it was just kind of like a really fun trip, and I felt really happy to be there, but it didn't really change a whole lot for me. I still kind of felt like I was an outsider, like I didn't belong. Through the years of bullying, I had made myself think that I was worthless, and I was ugly, and I was stupid, and I thought about this forever, and my brain still thinks that way to this day. I'm sorry. So eventually I decided to go on the Nashville trip, my first Nashville trip, which was to Nashville, Tennessee. And this was really impactful for me. I got to experience firsthand what it was like to be in like an impoverished situation. I saw people who had very, very little and were asking for just their basic necessities to be met. And they were some of the most grateful people you will ever meet in your entire life. And I love them all dearly. And I felt like I could actually do something. I felt like I could help people, and that I felt like I wasn't completely worthless, and I felt like maybe I could be doing something, and that my life maybe had purpose. It was around this time that I was really starting to deal with the death of my grandma, and I was coming to terms with the fact that she had killed herself. She had bipolar depression, and that's a term that's kind of thrown out a lot, but it is a very difficult disorder to understand. It basically turns someone you love into something you don't understand and you don't know. And it was really rough for all of us to deal with that. Seeing someone you love go through something so painful that they decide to take their own life. It was horrible. And it was something that I couldn't accept because I didn't know why she did that. And I struggled with that constantly. I remember the first time I even said that, I just instantly fell into tears. And I was dealing with a lot of anxiety because of this, and a lot of depression. I was having panic attacks at school a lot. I had to be on medication. I had to have therapy to not constantly be in this phase of feeling panicked and scared for no reason. I felt kind of like I didn't understand why I was like but I felt like so kind of desperate a lot, and I felt kind of like, I don't know why I need all this stuff. I need therapy and medicine to keep me from not being all panicky all the time. And that was really hard for me to accept and realize that it's okay. You know, medicine is okay. It's people need therapy. There's no shame in that, and I understand that now, which is good. My second Nashville trip, which was last summer, I went to a kids camp in Nashville, and you basically just work with a bunch of kids the entire time. And that might sound like a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of hard work. You're out there in the heat for the entire day working with a bunch of kids. They're all pretty needy and they're adorable and they always want your attention 24/7. And it was awesome though, and I would say that it was one of the best experiences ever, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. There's this one little girl. She's 4 years old. Her name was Taki, and she kind of became like a daughter to me in a sense where she would follow me around constantly. I remember on the first day I saw her, she was standing over by a tree with her brother, who was only 2 years older than her, and they came over immediately. They were the first kids to come over, and me and her bonded pretty easily. We bonded almost instantly. Me and her started playing games, and she started learning my name and calling me by it, and she would ask me for water, she would take my hat and wear it, she would take my glasses and wear it, she would run around, and she would try to get me to chase her and pick her up all the time. And to see somebody that, you know, was 4 years old, and somebody that needed me, and somebody that looked up to me and wanted me in their life, really was shocking to me. It's something that I didn't really understand. I was like, this little girl, she sees me as somebody that can take care of her and something that loves her. And I felt like that really was important to me because it showed me that I do have a purpose and that I do have a reason to be here. And I started realizing that I have a lot of people in my life that are like Taki. One of my friends, her name is Sage. She couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, but me and her have been friends since preschool. And she will see little talents in me that I don't ever believe in myself. And I know, you know, I'm sure a lot of you have friends like that where you think that you're not good at something and they're like, no, you are. And you won't believe it because, you know, you don't want to be like, you don't want to be not humble. You want to just be yourself and everything. And I remember she would always tell me that I was good at these certain things, and I would never believe her. She would tell me I was creative, and she would tell me, no, I mean it, because she knew that I wouldn't believe it. And I realized that she was trying to support me the entire time. And another person is my boyfriend, Garrett, who was my best friend for such a long time. And he will see the things that I don't see. He sees the good in me when I only see the bad. When I call myself stupid, he knows that that's not true. He tells me that all the time, and he tries to always tell me that, you know, I'm perfect in his eyes in every way, and not just in the cliche way, but he says that I'm a good person generally, and that I don't do anything out of evil. And then my other friend, Bella, she has 2 brain tumors, and she actually had brain surgery yesterday. And she has a lot of problems, obviously. She had 2 strokes, you know, 17 years old, that shouldn't be happening. She has a lot of problems, and one thing that amazes me is how positive she can always be for everybody's life. She always finds a way to cheer somebody up, and it reminds me that I need to be positive, and I need to be a more positive thinking person. And the root of all this is, I think that is what it means to be a person. I think Jesus understood what it meant to be a person because he was a person. You don't have to think of God as this mystical figure in the sky that floats on a cloud and shoots lightning out of his fingertips, because that doesn't exist. God is basically Jesus. He understood what it was like to be a person, was like to experience things that were horrifying and scary. He also knows what it's like to mess up and to have people be mad at you for no reason. And he also knows what it's like to be loved and to find love and people that you wouldn't expect to find love in. And I think that is what it means to be a person, is to try and do the best that you can every single day to make the world a better place, whether that's with animals or the environment or people. I think trying to be the best you that you can be for somebody else, for something else, I think that's what it means to be a person, and I think that's what it means to be a Christian.